Hello and welcome to this session of Sensors and Transducers. Myself Ashwini Patil from Department of Instrumentation and Control Engineering, MVP's KBT College of Engineering, Nashik. In this session, we are going to discuss the velocity and speed measurement. Tachometer is used. The tachometer is used for the measurement of rotational speed of shaft, of motor or any engine, and it displays the speed in RPM or RPS, that is revolution per minute or revolution per second. DC tachometer. Now, DC tachometer is basically a magnetic type of tachometer in which we can see here there is a armature on which the conductors are placed, and this armature is connected to the shaft of the motor or any engine of which we have to measure the speed. The stator, which is made up of permanent magnet, and when the armature rotates in this field of permanent magnet, that is a fixed magnetic field. So according to the Faraday's law, when a current carrying conductor placed in magnetic field, it induces EMF, that is electromotive force, and this electromotive force is proportional to the rotational speed of this armature. Then this armature is connected to the voltmeter through these brushes. So this voltmeter, which gives the EMF, output EMF, which is proportional to the rotational speed of the armature. So thus the stator is a permanent magnet type. Conductors are placed on the rotating armature. Here armature is attached to the machine shaft of which we have to measure the speed. The armature rotates within a fixed magnetic field produced by these permanent magnets. So its rotation causes EMF to induce in the conductors, which is proportional to the rotation of this armature. Armature contacts are connected to the voltmeter circuit through brushes, which convert voltage into speed value further. That means after calibration. When shaft reverses the direction, the polarity of output voltage reverses. So when this moves clockwise, output voltage whatever we get, when it moves anti-clockwise, reverse is the polarity of this output voltage. So as we can see here, E is equal to phi Z Np upon 60A, where P is number of poles, which is constant. Phi is magnetic flux, which is produced by this magnetic field. So these two are constant. Z is number of conductors on the armature, so which is also constant. A is number of parallel path, which is also constant. So only N, which is variable here, and E is proportional to N. So E, that is a voltage or EMF, which is produced here or measured here, is proportional to the rotational speed of this armature. Impedance of rotor winding is kept as low as possible to maintain the sensitivity, that is 5 to 20 volt per 1000 rpm. Rotor inertia is kept low, and it is ideal for direction indication in the measurement and control applications. It is mostly used for the whenever the direction is important to measure. It is used to measure engine or motor speed as well as the speed of conveyors, mixers, fans, machine tools, etc. in the industrial applications. The next is photoelectric tachometer. So in construction we can see here the shaft is having one disc, and on this disc either this number of holes or transparent opaque such areas are formed on this disc. One end of this disc there is a light source, and at another end of this disc there is a sensor. So it could be a LDR or some photoelectric cell. So when this shaft rotates, the light sensor, when comes through this hole or this transparent part, when it comes in front of this sensor, it indicates, and the pulses are formed as the transparent opaque such parts come in front of these two in between these two light source and light sensors, and thus these pulses are measured here by the counter to give the output in terms of rotational speed. So a rotating shaft is used to intercept a beam of light falling on photoelectric or photoconductive cell. The shaft has this disc and which has intermittent reflecting white and non-reflecting black surfaces or such holes on it. When a beam of light hits on the photoelectric cell through a rotating disc, the pulses are obtained here. So frequency of light pulses is same as the frequency of output electrical pulses, which is proportional to the shaft speed. This is the next, that is variable reluctance tachometer, tooth rotor variable reluctance tachometer. So in this, it consists of a metallic ferromagnetic tooth rotor mounted on a shaft whose speed is to be measured. So this is the that tooth rotor. These are the number of this tooth, and it is mounted on a shaft whose speed is to be measured. Magnetic pickup. This is a magnetic pickup. It is placed near to this tooth rotor. So this magnetic pickup, it consists of a small permanent magnet with a coil wound on it. We can see here this is a permanent magnet and on which the coil is wound on it. As the shaft rotates, the teeth passes in front of this this teeth passes in front of this magnetic pickup, and it produces change in reluctance of the magnetic circuit. So as the air gap in between this tooth and magnetic pickup changes, here when this tooth come in front of this magnetic pickup, less air gap is there, and when this gap come in front of magnetic pickup, so accordingly the more air gap is there and the reluctance varies, and so the here number of pulses are generated. So the field expands or collapse and a voltage is induced in the coil. Here the field expands and collapse, and the voltage is induced in this coil. So here we can see it is given at the matching transformer here. Okay, so this induced EMF in the sensor depends on a linear or angular velocity of motion. So this is how with this reluctance tachometer we can measure the speed of the machine. Now encoders. Encoders basically are used for the displacement measurement, but as the output of it is frequency pulses, so number of pulses per time if we count, it gives us the velocity or speed of the motor. There are basically two types of encoders, incremental encoders and absolute encoders. Incremental encoders report a change in angle. It is used for the relative position measurement, typically used in AC induction motor. So incremental encoders are typically used in AC induction motors. Absolute encoders, it reports the position within a scale or range. It gives binary output at each position, that is the absolute position of the shaft it gives. It is paired with permanent magnet brushless motor in servo applications. Basically, this encoder again fall into two main sensing techniques, that is linear and rotary. So for measuring the linear motion, the encoders which we use are called linear, and for measuring the angular position, the encoders which we use are called rotary encoders. So we can see here these are the absolute encoders. We can see here that disk which is coded. So at every position different code is there. So when this particular position of disk is there, so here we can see three sources and three detectors are there. So at this position 1, 1 and 0. So such output will get. So it gives the exact position of this disk, and so it is called as, that is absolute position of the disk, and so it is called as absolute rotary encoder. In incremental encoder we can see that at equidistance such slits are there or holes are there, and as it moves it only gives a number of pulses. So from a particular relative measurement it gives from particular position when it moves. So from the number of these pulses we can calculate the change in displacement or angular displacement of the disk. So it is called as incremental rotary encoder. So here we can get absolute position of the disk, and here we cannot get the absolute position. With relative some particular point only we can measure the displacement, rotary displacement here. Linear encoders. So it is used to measure the distance between 2 points. That means this object, when it travels with particular distance linearly, so it gives that position, that displacement of this particular object. These encoders can use rod or cable that run between the encoder transducer and object, that will be measured for movement. As the object moves, as when this object moves, the transducer's data collected from the rod or cable, which creates output signal that is linear to the object movement. As the distance is measured, and the linear encoder uses this information to determine the position of this object with the help of this displacement or distance measured. So it is the application, one of the application of it is in CNC machines. Rotary encoder, as we have seen already in the previous slide. So here rotary encoders are also called as shaft encoder because it can be mounted on the shaft. Absolute rotary encoders can measure the angular position. So rotary measure this uh, rotary encoders measure the distance, displacement, position. Sorry, absolute measures the absolute rotary encoders can measure angular position, and incremental rotary encoders measure the distance, speed and position. So application of rotary encoders is in computer devices like mice, in robotics. Incremental shaft encoders, the output of this is in digital form, that is 1010 output we get. It measures the angular position of the shaft relative to some arbitrary datum point. It does not give indication about the absolute position of the shaft. Optical incremental shaft encoder. So here we can see incremental encoders. Its disk is like this. At equidistance there are number of slits on this disk. This disk is connected to the shaft, of which we have to measure the speed, and at one end of the disk there is a light source, and at another end of the disk there are the sensors or detectors. So optical incremental shaft encoder, when this moves, this rotates, so here we can get number of pulses accordingly, and from this number of pulses we can calculate the speed of this or displacement of this disk, and that displacement per how many second we can calculate the speed accordingly. This is the absolute coding arrangement for absolute. So we can see here it is colored like 0001. It is that transparent and opaque. So transparent is 00 and opaque is 1 and then 0. Here 0011, here like this. So this is how this disk is coded, and accordingly the output at one end 1 2 3 4 4 sensors and 4 uh, emitters, light emitters are placed at both sides of the disk. Here this is a fixed disk, only one slit is there, so it can give from relative output here. Magnetic digital shaft encoder. So magnetic digital shaft encoder consists of a single rotable disc, the pattern of sectors and tracks. It consists of magnetically conducting and non-conducting segments, and the sensors aligned with each track consist of small toroidal magnet. We can see here in this diagram. Here the magnetic digital shaft encoders, it consists of single disc. So this is a disc, and the pattern of sectors and track consist of magnetically conducting and non-conducting segments. So these are the different segments actually. The sensor aligned with each track consists of small toroidal magnets. So this is a sensor. Here we can see there is a coil. Here the same another view of this sensor transducer is there. Here the sensor is there, and here this disk is there, which is consisting of conducting and non-conducting segments. So each of these sensors has a coil wound on it that has a high or low voltage induced in it according to the magnetic field close to it, and this field is dependent on the magnetic conductivity of that particular segment of the disc that is closest to the toroid. Advantage of this is that these instruments have no moving part in contact, and therefore good reliability and longer life is also there. Ability to operate in very harsh environment conditions, and the disadvantage is that the process of manufacturing and accurately aligning the toroidal magnet sensors required makes such instruments very expensive. Thank you.